Hi, Sam.
All right. Oh, hello, Anna. Everyone's sons are home. That's pretty normal.
It's a
I
it's
think
a
we're good.
family webinar.
It is a family webinar. During these times, we're just going to go with it. Don't feel bad if a kid breaks in. We will just keep on going. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Oh, and doggies can join too. But my dog's out with the boys, so he left as well. Sent everyone out of the house. They're just down the street. We're following orders, but they are down the street. So this morning, you guys, we're talking about youth voice, leadership, and engagement. And I know you guys have probably, I think a bunch of you have been on my previous calls. This is going to sound repetitive. It should. If you came in for intentional program design and you've watched relationships as well, this should go right along with it. If you haven't, they're on the website. You can go back and you can watch them again. Oh, not working. There we go. So the first part of this, since we're recording, will sound similar to what you've already watched. This webinar is recorded and it will be up on the website. And I keep telling people, since I'm at home, boom, it should be up by like tomorrow. The slide deck will also go with it. So if you forget something that you saw in this presentation and you want to go back and look at it, you can. If you're having trouble hearing me or with your audio, please feel free to use your phone instead. You can call into this call. That is totally fine. You're welcome to ask questions at any time. You are welcome to unmute and just interrupt. Fine by me. If you'd rather use the chat box, you can find that. I think most of you have already checked in on the chat box, and you can use that if you'd like. We have a couple of polls, if they work, that you get in, and you should be able to put in your answer and click submit. And if you can't or you would rather not, you're welcome to use the chat box as well or shout out your answer. We're going to talk through real quick because I know it's in every single one of these presentations, but we'll go over the goals for the standards. We'll look at the building block. We'll look at the definition. We'll look at the book in case you're following along in the printed guide. We'll go over all the indicators. And we'll do a little resource reminder. So our first poll of the day, if I can get it to pop up. No, Anna, you ruined it. It's okay. So you can drop your answer in your chat box or shout it out. Why are you here today? You're either gathering information for your colleagues or employees, you're gathering information for your own personal use, or you're stuck inside so you thought you'd chat with me for a little while. Awesome. Thanks, Emily. Emily's here for everybody, for herself and for others. Sheena and Lindsay too. No one's just here because you're stuck inside? No, I'm just kidding. Kim's gathering for everyone else? All three. That's super fair, Rhonda. That is really fair. Awesome. It looks like most of you are joining to get more information. You've probably joined before and continuing on gathering more and more information for yourself and others. I don't mind if you're here because you're stuck inside and you have nowhere else to be. That's really, really fair. Yeah. So in case you haven't joined before, or you're watching this video for the first time, we built the quality standards to define what quality looks like in out of school time programming. We really want these to serve as a foundation for your decision and practices in all settings and all programs. We really tried our best to make them applicable in some way to really anyone who's looking at this should find a way to use them. We really, I think this is close to my heart, we really want all of you guys to feel like you're professionals. You're not just babysitters. You are not just here to fill time and space. You are professionals and you are the ones working with youth every day, and we want you to know that and feel supported in that. We want to provide an ongoing framework to advance the field, increase quality in the programming that's being offered, right? So if you haven't looked at the building blocks, the first thing is the building block. That's the title. Today we're working on youth voice, leadership, and engagement. That would be the building block. We'll read the standard, but that's basically the definition under the building block. And then the indicators are the individual actions that the programs can take to meet the standard under that building block, right? So building block, grand idea, it's the title. Standard is the definition, and the indicators are the individual things you can use to meet that. If you do have a copy of our physical book and you are following along, we are on pages 10 and 11 this morning. We're looking at that youth voice, leadership, engagement. So again, that title, that is our building block. And then we have the indicators underneath. On the other side is the self-assessment that you can use to quickly look at your program and gauge kind of where you at and where you want to go. So you're either doing an indicator, you're trying an indicator, or maybe you haven't looked at it yet, but you would like to. Unfortunately, right now, I cannot send you, I was just gonna say, I cannot send you this book. They are in a box in our, in our closed office. However, just for you, Lindsay, you can find it online. So you can go to our website, idahooutofschool.org. At the very top, there's a heading that says quality. You click on that and then click on building blocks. And you can download this for free and as many times as you want. Oh, Sheena's turned into a little one. Hi. Yes, so you can find it at any time. Once we're open again, I will happily send you a physical copy if you would like one. It's the exact same as the one that's online. It just comes in a pretty pre-printed way. Oh, my computer is telling me my Adobe was updated. One more quick poll. Just wondering what you guys are here for. Do you design youth programs? Do you deliver youth programs? Both deliver and design, or currently neither, you're here because you're quarantined. Deliver and design. Thanks, Emily. And you're welcome to put in other. I know some of you are not here just because you're quarantined, but maybe you don't design or deliver youth programming. Like Anna. Well, no, Anna's here because she's quarantined. Because she would have been on vacation. Lindsay does both, okay. Kim, you support, yes, both the delivery and the design. I would think you would just do both, technically. Anyone else want to chime in? Sheena, we're just talking about delivering or designing youth programs or both. And Rhonda supports both.
Sorry, they're going outside. It's going to be a lot easier in about 2 minutes.
It is totally fine. Understandable. Awesome, you guys. Well, I'm glad you're here then, because this will hopefully, hopefully support you when you support other programs. Or if you are the one designing and delivering programs, these are just things that will hopefully keep in mind as you do those things. Oh, well, I didn't make this as pretty as normal, but anyway, what is youth voice, leadership, and engagement? So the standard, this is the definition, so the building block is youth voice, leadership, and engagement. The standard is that quality programs promote a sense of purpose and individual empowerment in youth through opportunities to engage in a rich variety of experiences, participate in planning, and exercise choice and leadership, as well as implement and evaluate program activities. And that's the standard. Very lofty. That's our goal, right? So what does effective youth engagement do? It creates positive youth outcomes in 3 levels, and sometimes we forget the other levels. We're pretty good at thinking of that individual level, right? Increased personal skills, healthy choices, sense of identity. But it also looks at social, right? Stronger positive connections with friends and adults. And here's a big one, a larger support network, right? So if kids can build positive social outcomes, then they build a support network for themselves and they're less likely to make bad choices and have bad behaviors, right? Because they're not just looking at school and family, but now they have a bigger support system. In the community, when you have great youth voice, you're building greater civic engagements and policies and programs that are responsive to the needs of young people in the community. Because that's your job. You guys are in the community. So you have a great opportunity to use that youth voice. So I'm going to answer this question right off the top. Can I just create a youth council that meets once a year or every now and then? Probably get this question the most. I'm gonna say yes and no. Yes, of course, you could always create a youth council. That's a great way to hear some youth voice. However, youth engagement is really relationship based, and young people have the right to participate meaningfully in the decisions that affect them. And you have to remember that engagement is sustained over time. So if you're only going to listen to them once a year or every now and then, you're not really doing a great job in youth voice and engagement. Right? They should be able to ask questions, share their ideas, help design and implement, not just say, oh, we want an art club, and then you guys go off and make the art club, but then we didn't really get into leadership or what they want to do in art club or what art club could do for the community and going beyond that. So make sure that if you create a youth council that they're meeting really regularly and that they're doing more than just throwing out ideas and that you're doing more to engage them. So how do we do that? Right? How do we do that? So let's start with the indicator. So if the first indicator is staff value and encourage youth voice and expression, youth have the opportunity to make significant choices and about activities in the program. Right? Good morning. Sorry, people pop up on my site. Youth voice is a way of operating. It is part of your culture and your philosophy. So if you joined me at the very first one in intentional program design, we talked a lot about your goals and what you want to achieve, and youth voice needing to be a part of that, right? Has to be intentional and something that you do throughout your programming all the time. Don't use youth voice as that rubber stamp, right? Oh, we created a youth council, right? Stamped it, did it, check, right? You can't fool the kids into believing they have a say if they don't, right? That's an awful, like if they don't have a say, don't offer it, right? They know the difference, right? Work with your youth, not just for your youth. And by that, I mean, don't do things for the youth in your program that they can do with you instead, right? For example, if you're planning a week of activities, let them do it. Don't do all that work yourself, right? They're capable. They will help you. They will help you get their opinion known, right? Look at your program goals. And if you don't have program goals, you need to go back to recording one, intentional program design, work on some goals, and then have those kids plan your activities, lead your activities, and then reflect on them. Identify opportunities for voice and choice within each day's activities, across your sessions, throughout your programs, and organization-wide. Right? There should be no point that you can't go, I can hear some reflection here. They made a choice to do this here. This is the thing that they wanted to do, right? You should be able to check that box almost every day. Indicator B, youth serve as leaders and mentors to each other. This is so great when you can get this to work. Just know there is no one right way to make a mentoring relationship. It's gonna change. Kids are like that. Adults are like that. Teens can mentor younger kids if you have multi-age group programming. High school seniors mentoring younger high school students, right? even some of your younger staff, maybe college age staff, are going to be mentors to your seniors in high school. Or, you know, if you've got 4th and 5th graders reading to 1st graders, those are great. That's great relationship building. Even better, do you know senior citizens who would like to mentor senior high school students? Right? You can really scaffold mentoring all over the place. A child that excels in one area can mentor students who'd like to be better in that area. And that can be artists, musicians, sports players, gamers. If you have gaming systems, right? They can help lead and teach gaming sessions. Can a really great soccer player lead a soccer club? You know, there's no reason they can't lead the soccer club. You don't have to do it, right? Whatever the strengths or resources or opportunities in your setting, use those to build the lives intentionally, right? Don't worry about a specific model. It doesn't have to be like, I am following this mentorship model. It can be a kid coming up to you and saying, I want to teach kids how to draw Sonic. Okay, awesome. Let's figure that out. I've got paper, we've got pens. Someone's going to want to learn how to draw Sonic. Go for it, right? Doesn't have to be some really structured, scaffolded thing. You know, use shared interest to inspire mentor matching as much as possible. Recruit the youth that you think would be good mentors and leaders, even if they haven't necessarily expressed that interest. Because, you know, and probably just right now you went, ooh, I have that kid that I think needs a job. And I think he'd be really good at this job. That's the kid that you want to find and go, I really think you would be good at leading XYZ. Take a couple of kids, go do that, right? Kids love jobs. They have to be ongoing and they have to have your support and encouragement. Hey, how'd your class go with Sonic? Did kids draw? Were they good? Like, how did that go? And then you encourage, do you want to teach it? Maybe you can teach how to draw Pikachu too. You know, I can let you online, we can find some tutorials and then, you know, you can take the class, you know, like just keep going, build that up. We're going really fast. This is a short one, so please interrupt at any time if you're like, I don't understand. Now's the time to tell me. Indicator C, staff support youth leadership and development through appropriate and authentic skill building opportunities, goal setting, planning, decision making. We forget often, and if you've taken my brain science training, again, if you haven't, it's recorded, you can go watch it. We have to teach those skills, right? Kids are not just naturally good at goal setting or effective decision making, right? They're not capable. And so we have to teach those things. So say we're going to keep going with like sports clubs or, you know, art classes. What's your goal? Your goal is to, you know, have a bunch of kids learn how to draw Sonic. Is your goal to just get better at teaching, right? Have the kid write the goal. Okay, how are you going to do that? What do you need? You need paper. You need 3 kids to come listen, right? Then they can start really working on those skills while building a mentorship, while having youth voice and leadership and some skin in the game, some buy-in, right? You get to help them be more confident, right? Find the things that they're successful in, and then you can support them, right? That's really listening to what they want and what they need. Gosh, can they start a small business? Maybe they're publishing a writing piece in their school newspaper. They want to display their art. They're going to perform a solo. There's no reason they can't do all of these things within your program, right? Maybe that small business is we're going to sell cupcakes and raise money for the program, or they want to start a babysitting club and can they hand out flyers, or, you know, whatever thing that they want to do, follow that track, see where it goes. And then help them write a goal and plan for that thing. And this is just almost as important as picking and helping them with successful things, is learning what to do with anger and frustration and anxiety and stress, right? Everyone's going to get angry and frustrated at some point, right? We all do. we're in a situation right now that no one has predicted, right? That is stressful and frustrating, and kids have to learn how to deal with that, right? And that's something that can be not easily worked on, but can be worked on within your program, is just as important as like what happens when the goal wasn't successful. The thing didn't happen. I wrote a piece, everyone was excited about it, and it didn't get published in the school newspaper. What am I going to do now? Am I going to keep trying? Am I going to submit something else? I'm really, maybe I could submit it somewhere else to be read. Maybe I can, we just have to work through that thing. That's frustrating. What's not okay, right, is being mean to others or throwing things in the program, or, right, you have to work through anger and frustration. And if you did intentional program design and relationship building, we talk a lot about creating shared expectations for behavior. And I mentioned also creating that expectation of what to do when you disagree. And I would say what you do when you disagree, what you do when you're mad or angry or you're frustrated, build that first within your program goals and guidelines and your rules and expectations, so that kids have a touchstone of what to do up front before they're mad, right? Help them learn that failure happens and then what to do when it does. We're not successful 100% of the time. I don't think anyone is. And you learn and grow from failure, right? We have to have some failure to make the next big idea. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Let them make their own decisions, even if you don't always agree, right? I will say stop at danger. If it's dangerous, stop there. That's a hard no. But sometimes, right, we have to let kids make decisions that you're like, I don't think you're gonna like that, but all right. Right? Sometimes you're surprised, sometimes they're surprised, but that's part of the learning process, right? And that is part of developing appropriate skill building, is making decisions and then dealing with failure or success. That's a hard one. It's a hard one as teachers and as parents to kind of know that something may not going to go the right way and letting kids do it anyway. Right? Like I said, not if they're going to get hurt or hurt others, but all other decisions, sure. Why not? So indicator D, youth input and contributions are encouraged in activity planning, implementation, and evaluation. The program encourages and recognizes youth input at a level that is appropriate. And as young people gain experience, their input and their contributions become increasingly sophisticated, right? So it should build. If you have teenagers in your program, there's no reason that they're not leading and building and doing all the things. A little harder if you've got like first graders. They may not be leading the experience per se, but they should have a voice and a say in what they do and make choices that are appropriate for them. Man, if you can let them help build your program activities, right, they're going to build a sense of ownership. It's the same with building those rules that we talked about in earlier programs, right? They are going to be way more willing to help you lead, and it's going to reflect them and their interests. So there you go. Remember to create the youth shared rules and sets of expectations while you're doing that. Have them work towards a shared reward. Right, we talked about that last time. And try structuring your program so that kids have daily choices that they're making, and that they're taking responsibility for their own learning, and how your staff or you can meet their needs, right? Take some of that weight off yourself. Give it back to them. There's no reason that you're doing all of it all the time. I know, and I do the same thing, that sometimes you feel like you'll just get it done, or it'll just be easier if you do it yourself. Those are valid feelings. But if you truly build in youth voice as a daily conscious decision, that will get easier, and the kids will take more and more responsibility and help with you, right? For you. So indicator E, staff provide opportunities for reflection and for youth to showcase their work. This is part of the buy-in, right? They have to have something at the end, right? That says that you're listening and that you're willing to help them showcase whatever that is that they're working on, right? It feels good. It feels super good when they can do that. Oh, and Anna just asked if you want to share how this is happening in your programs, please, please do so at any time. Jump in. You got to create space and time for youth to show off. They like it. Most kids, especially younger kids, like the elementary school ages, they're not embarrassed. They will show you whatever you want. You want a dance party, they're going to do it. You want an art contest, they're going to do it. Right? And sometimes that'll change as they get older, but they still want to show things that they've done well, right? Kids like to hear that they're awesome at stuff, right? It's built, literally hardwired in their brain to want great things. So they want to hear it.
You know,
oh, go ahead.
it was really fun to see, and I know Anna was there, the showcase of all our middle schoolers with our NASA projects. So I would love to see if directors are interested in something like that. I would love to see that come together again and showcase. That was really, really fun to do.
That is so great. And yeah, and obviously if we can help you in some way, you guys let us know. But like if you've got really artistic kids, is there a place, a physical place that they can display art? Or can it be online or a newsletter that you send out? You know, you can think broader than just like, oh, I hung it up, although that's great. And if you have a place for that, I totally recommend that. If you have a private Facebook page for like parents or their art club that you've created underneath you, awesome. They can, especially right now, is there a digital way that they can share art or experiences? Youth talent show, or like Sheena said, a showcase of projects, sports showcase. Maybe they have a game that is internal that they invite parents to show off, you know, a skill or a club that they've created. Can they hold a cooking demonstration or a science demonstration for their classmates or for parents or loved ones? Why not? You know, it's like, do it. Do the thing that you want to do. Focus on the process as much as the activity. In that reflective process, it's like, yeah, maybe your cake burned, but you learned how to follow a recipe, you've learned how to, you know, that you like to bake, or you've learned something in the process, right? Because sometimes you can find a lot of those small wins, even if the end win didn't work out. Did they do what they wanted to do? Did they learn what they intended? Did they learn something unexpected? Like, oh, I cannot mix those two ingredients. That didn't work out, you know, but what would they change? What do they want to do? Do they want to go on from here? Maybe they want to bake something else, or they want to write something else. Or they learned something really great in that NASA showcase, and now they want to do the next STEM activity that goes next to it, right? So build in that process of reflection. Allow time for reflection, right? It can be every day, week, month, as much as possible. At the end of every activity, just taking that build in that time, that 5-10 minutes to say, how did that go? Did you like that? Should we do this again? You know, if you've chosen a leader for that activity, do they want to stay the leader of that activity, or is it time for a new leader of that activity, right? Give them that chance to reflect and think about, what did you learn? What do you want to do? And you can do that reflection in lots of different ways. It doesn't have to be the same questions every time. It can be a writing prompt or a fill in the blank. I wanted to learn this. This is what happened, right? You don't have to write it, but maybe you give it as a prompt. You can have a meeting, you know, that once a week meeting, or that once a month meeting, maybe with your group that you're just checking in. Is anyone having problems? Is anyone liking the activities? What do you want to see for next week or next month? Be a survey, you know, something that they fill out at the end of the activity or at the end of the week. Could be a checklist. Yep, I did this. Nope, I didn't that. I liked this. I didn't like that. because you're going to meet kids in different places. You're going to have kids that like different ways. You're going to have that kid who loves sharing and will give you every opinion he's ever thought in his head. And then you're going to have that kid who's going to be like, I will write it down, right? And then there's a kid who's like, I can do a checklist and that's as far as I can go. Kim was saying the mall in Missoula a couple years ago did an art showcase. 3 after-school programs were represented. It was so neat, right? Kid, I build it. They'll do it. It's so awesome. And just remember that you can showcase lots of things, right? Just because you can't always hang the art up on the wall, maybe you can at the end of the semester, but maybe you can do that cooking showcase or the science showcase or the sports showcase or the music showcase or a gaming showcase. I mean, kids love it, and building that relationship is always great. A drama showcase, that'd be fun. Have them put on a show. Someone will do it. Indicator F is youth have opportunities to develop a sense of belonging in your program. And if you've done nothing else, this is where you want kids to be. You want them to feel like they're safe and they belong. And I will tell you, when Anna and I went out and we talked to youth all over the state, sometimes your program is the only safe space, right? They don't feel safe at school or at home, and they come to you guys. So it allows you to connect with their peers, and it's a break, right? Sometimes at school, there's cliques or social concerns that they're worried about that they're less worried about with you guys. They want to be included. They're going to feel more a part of your group when they are included. You have to continuously promote, right? This goes back to your roles and expectations. You have to promote cooperation, support, and respect, right? Because it helps kids feel more secure. If you can provide academic support, or that's part of something that you guys provide, if their schoolwork is made easier for home and at school, they're way more willing to be more active in your program and other things, because that takes that weight and that lift off of them. Kind of sounds silly, you want to do a lot of active programming, but academic support should and can be built in there. Provide safety, right? You're that safe space. And that goes back to that support and respect and cooperation, because that's safe. It's not just physically safe and safe from them going out to maybe make bad decisions, but it's that they feel safe mentally as well in your space. We heard from students that was really, really important to them. They're there to hang out with their friends. That's their number one reason for being there. They want to hang out with their friends. If they learn something too, that's great. They like that, but they're there to hang out, and they're there because they feel safe, right? So make it fun, right? Your programs are a prime way for kids to learn new things and make new friends without grades and testing, right? They're going to come to you and you can teach them all kinds of cool things about science and art and all these great programming things, and they don't have to be graded on it, right? They're not going to take a test later about it, but maybe that'll help academically later. Oh, don't want to do that. Hold on. Come on. Oh no, where'd my video? This is a super great video. I was like, we're gonna watch this. I don't normally do this, but we have plenty of time. And this is really awesome. The California After School Network has a very similar building block built into their, it's called Youth Voice and Leadership. And they put together these little videos that show what this standard looks like in action. So I think it's really important for you guys to see some programming that's doing really well at this. Hopefully you can all hear it. Let me know if you can't. Make sure you're turned up.
Youth Voice and Leadership
So reading theater is another example of creativity at play in our extended learning program. So students were able to take their favorite book, they read through the book together as a class, and when the book was over, they decided on what the favorite scene was. I got the part of co-director for the play, so I'm very happy with that because I get mainly the artistic vision of the play, and to be honest, I really think the play is going to be awesome. She has them timed and there's cues, and she takes it extremely serious, and it's cultivating that skill in her, and it's her vision. And so she's like, no, that's not how I wanted it to look. Cut, we're starting over, but you can really see like her creative juices at work, and the class is totally buying into it. They respect her as the director, and they're following her lead. So at our high school, what we have is we have a youth advisory board. Those students are elected each year at the beginning of the year by each program. So there's a student who represents each one of the activities in our after-school program. Those students meet as a group about once every 2 weeks. We meet on Fridays. And those students are the ones who are responsible for creating new programs. So then us as the board, who are the students, get to pick what we like to do. So if you're an artist and you like to do that, then there's a bunch of art programs. And it's all student run. We have the students write down written input for their project-based learning, which is specific clubs that they would like to see. Once they write down what they would like to see, we take that. And every month we have a different project-based learning club for them.
So for our clubs, they asked us, what do you want to do? What do you feel like doing? And Mr. Bralia, who's the coordinator, he made an art club. And I feel like we do have a voice that we want to do an art club, and he made an art club for us. So still we're interested.
Well, I help actually the staff members come up with new ideas, but I help them in every way, like organize everything that they need help on. I try to be there for them and make sure that everything's going well, because dealing with how many kids we have, it can be a handful.
My coordinators have a voice in this program. My staff have a voice in this program. Things that we've created is because of our staff. They have a voice. They come to me and talk to me about things that we can do to enhance our programming. And I really listen to them. And that's why everyone has skin in the game. Our students, our staff, so do I, our teachers. And that's what makes this program so successful, because everyone has a say.
Through the implementation of the Youth Voice and Leadership Standard, students are empowered to make an impact in their community. By providing them the space to share their voice, they become leaders. Equality standards are a guide to help you lead your program to its highest quality.
So anyway, so hopefully like watching that, you can kind of see maybe how that can play an impact in your program, right? There's a council that meets every 2 weeks, and they reflect their entire student population at the program, and they help decide what programs are going to continue. They have one where the child, an elementary school child, is directing their their play that they got from a book, and they're going to do the book as a show. There's a child who likes organizing, and I'm like, use that child to go ahead and give them some responsibility and let them help you organize whatever it is that you need help organizing. So youth voice is just really, really about using the youth in all aspects of your programming. Because then they create that buy-in, you create those leaders, you're building those skills. And if you find yourself sitting down looking at a week of programming that you just wrote out, and you have no idea whether the kids will like it, and you're stressed out about it, and take it back to them. Give them, even if at the beginning it needs to be choice within choice, like we have 4-H coming, and we have, the robotics club coming, which would you like to work on? If that's where you have to start, great. But then make sure you're checking in with them. How did you like 4-H? How did you like, robotics club? What would you change? What did you learn? And then build from there. That's fine too. You start where you can start. Now, come on now. Here we go. So just as a reminder, and I won't take you to the resource guide today, but remember that you can find the online resource guide on our website. So it's the idahooutofschool.org building block resources, but if you go to idahooutofschool.org and you click on that same quality tab, resources is one of the tabs underneath it. There you go. We have guides and handbooks and trainings, and I'm working on still adding those Y for Y now that I'm home. They'll probably get added a little bit faster. We would love to create a shared resource area. So if you have something or you're doing something and you want me to add it to that resource site, I will happily do so. Just send it on to me and we will get that added for you guys. Sometimes it's nice to see what someone else is doing in the same area as a way to check in, make sure you're doing it too, right? For you guys, if you'd like to attend some more workshops, we have 2 upcoming in April. I'm going to do the behavior tips and tricks again. If you are 21st century and you saw it with me live when I went around the state, this is the same training. It's just going to be online. And if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check in, and you're welcome to take that with me. And then we're also doing building block 4, which is the responsiveness to culture and identity. So we're doing 2 in April. You can find them both on the website to register from our front page, or you can go to professional development web workshops and they're available there to register from as well. So now we have time, we have like 15 minutes. So, because this is a really short, there was only a handful of indicators under it. But now is the time, if you want to ask me questions or you have other ideas, let me know and I'll stay on.
Hi, I do have a question. It just kind of sparked a little light bulb.
Good.
It happens every once in a while. So when you're talking about sharing out resources, is this a possible solution to sharing like during COVID type outreach? You know, like now we're doing virtual, and so maybe you had a cooking lesson planned and so we could share that out. Is that something that you're looking at sharing, or what type of resource, I guess, on that? Can you explain a little more, I guess?
So the resource guide, yes and no. Yes, we will, if you have a lesson that you want to get out, I think we offered the same thing to 4-H, and we will absolutely help you do that. The resource guide for the quality building blocks, so this would be more like you have something that you built really great for intentional program design, or you have a handbook that you wrote, or there's a parent guide that you made and you want those, and they would be listed under in the resource guide underneath the each building block that they would fall under. So you have like a really great safety checklist and you want that, you know, included, we could do that. So twofold, if you have one that's specific to a building block, because some people asked for that, but we haven't had any submissions yet. I think they were hoping someone else would do it so they could see it. It was like, yeah, did anyone else do a really great project-based learning thing and they want to share it? And we can put that under intentional program design. But I mean, right now we're super navigating this new situation of kids being at home. And if you need a platform to do an online class, we can absolutely help you do that. I don't see why not, unless Anna's going to jump on and be like, no.
Oh, no, I think that's a great idea. I also want to point out on our website, there is a section just with curriculum. And in there, some of the lesson examples are in that area. It's not in the building blocks resources, but it's under like content and curriculum.
Oh, okay.
We kind of have two places on our website where you might find curriculum ideas or, yes. But
perfect.
Posting that live would also be something I think we could totally jump on. And
yeah, I think that'd be great. Let's definitely have that, continue that conversation on Tuesday, and then we could make it official in the contract.
Yeah, like let us know how, because I mean, we're obviously navigating COVID as well, and how we can provide TA and support for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and at the top of our website, if you guys do need some help with COVID, there's a bunch of trainings and a bunch of online resources specific to the pandemic. So you're welcome to look it up there. Does anyone else have anything sparked or anything you want to discuss? I'm happy to help or listen. No? So you're all just going to go out. Now you have all this time to figure out how you're going to do all this stuff and bring it back when you guys start programming again. Right.
And then, so I know Anna had mentioned in an email earlier, which I appreciate, the one-on-one outreach that you guys are offering for our directors. So maybe we could talk about that just a couple minutes. The directors online can have first dibs.
Yes, if you came to class and I have your names, you can ask first. Absolutely, we're offering anytime. If you would like to talk with me or Anna about really anything, our schedules are pretty free right now. So we would happily set up a video chat or a call, and you can talk through your specific needs or your program issues that maybe you're having with space or design or certain kids. If you did the BMI with us, and we're going to have a call in June, but if in between you need help with maybe filling out your behavior matrix or figuring out anything in there, we're available certainly to help with those issues. Lindsay, you let me know. What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? My email's there at the bottom of this slide. You can also find it on our website, dmcallister@janus.org. Send me an email of what you want to discuss, or in some times that maybe you have available, and we'll set up a time to do some TA.
Cool. And then I don't know if you and Anna would be interested in joining our webinar for directors on Friday. If you're going to be providing maybe some outreach, it could be helpful for you guys to be a part of that. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll definitely share that out so you guys know the information we're sharing and the direction that we're giving as far as amending their outreach for programs.
Absolutely.
Is that tomorrow, Sheena?
Yeah, tomorrow, 10. I have to look at my calendar because I don't know what I'm doing the next hour, to be honest, but I believe it's 10 o'clock.
If you, yeah, go ahead. If you want to send me an invitation to any part of it that you want me to join, I love to just gather information and know what you're, how it's being advised during this time. And so definitely I would.
Okay.
Yeah, you can send me the invite too. Just
It
know
is from 10 to 11:30.
Thanks,
Okay.
Lindsay.
10 to 11.
Yeah.
I just don't have childcare at that time in the morning. So kind of like you, there could be kids, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
and that's
yes.
that's okay. It's going to happen here too.
Yeah, I was like, just FYI, but I will be listening. All right. Any other questions or anything I can help with while we have 10 minutes on this call? Otherwise, I can let you guys all go because I know you're all probably at home with kids and other ones. But yeah, I can stay on, and then if whoever would like to check out, they certainly can. And again, this will be up on the website probably in the next day or so, and you can always come back and find the slides to it attached to that video. Otherwise, have a good day of
Thank you,
quarantine, guys.
Diana. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.